The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Okay. Yeah, I'm vengeance. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Good whatever. Good evening, I guess. I guess good evening or good night. This is Monday. I think I did schedule this for a Tuesday by accident. But it was but no, it's Monday. This was supposed to be yesterday's stream. But I had a very bad headache yesterday, and I just didn't have the energy and the mood to stream yesterday. And this is a topic where I want to feel enthusiastic about. And I don't sound like that right now. Obviously, I'm a little tired. It's not like yesterday, man. Not like yesterday. I'm fine. I feel it's just it's late, a little tired, but I'm still enthusiastic. I'm still enthusiastic to talk about this. We're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy spoilers, Volume 3 spoiler review today. I know I put other topics here, but I think I only want to talk about this because of how late it is. And so that's what we're going to do. We're only going to talk about Guardians tonight. Let's talk Pop, episode 28. That's what we're all going to do tonight. That's it. So if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you don't come on unless you don't care about being spoiled. Let's talk Pop 28. Yep, 2 more episodes of 30. Maybe I'll do something special 30th episode. I don't know. Maybe I'll have something special for the 30th episode, but I don't know when that's going to be. That's the problem. I don't know when my 30th episode is going to be. Well, Wednesday. Technically, it's my scheduled day, right? But that'll be 29. So I don't know when 30 is going to be. Maybe the weekend. Maybe make it a little extra special on the 30th episode of Let's Talk Pop. Now, let me edit this banner. Let me edit this. So, you know what this episode's all about. Oh, damn it. All right, so while I'm editing this, on my non-spoiler review, if you watched it, you could tell I really enjoyed the movie, obviously, from how I did my recording on that. It's on my channel. It's the latest video I made, so you don't have to search it. There's no videos that have been uploaded since, so it's there for you to check out. Maybe I'll put it in this video after when I edit it. Okay, there we go. Much better. Much better now. So let's get on with this movie. Spoilers. There are spoilers, okay? I guess everybody wants to talk about who lives and dies in this movie. Well, they all live, so nobody dies. That's a spoiler enough for you? None of the Guardians die. Okay, happy? Happy? None of them die. So this idea, oh, it's the last movies in the MCU. Oh, they're gonna kill them off. Nope, that never happened. Okay, and the Guardians died. So stick it, stick. You can stick it where the sun don't shine. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that. Okay. Spoilers. Spoilers. Oh, okay. So this. Yeah, George. Oh yeah, I'm gonna invite you on. So, spoiler review. Basically, this movie is really, really good. Really, really good. The best, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie in the multiverse saga. Better than the Phase 4 movies and the best one in Phase 5. Better any shows of the Phase 4 and well, there's no shows of Phase 5 that debuted yet, so obviously it's better than any of the Phase 4 shows. Better than all the Phase 4 movies. Better than Ant-Man and Quantumania. So right now, in my opinion, it is the best Marvel movie of the multiverse saga for Phase 4, 5, and 6 so far. You never know in the future. There might be better Marvel movies in the future. Right now, possibly in May, we don't know because of the writer strike. So this could be the only movie that has potential to be better is the Marvels right now. And I'm not putting my bets on it. If I'm going to gambling man, I'm not doing that. Oh, and I'm going to invite George. Of course. I'm the Trinity. Where's Blind? Because I know what Blind wants to talk about. I hope he's doing better. Oh, shit. I'm going short tonight, man. Where is blinded, man? Okay. Oh, I'm not skipping the Marvels. I'm gonna see it. I have to. It's like see where it leads. The problem with Marvel movies, you kind of have to see somewhere, I guess. So, okay, this movie. Spoiler alert: Gamora and Peter Quill do not get together in this movie. Okay, and yes, my problem with this movie is the way they treat Peter Quill in the movie. Okay, Peter Quill was drunk and depressed in the beginning of this movie. Well, in Thor: Love and Thunder, he didn't seem like it. The way he talked to Thor about, you can find someone who cares about you, and it's all worth it. We were talking to Thor, but in this opening, and it didn't feel like the same Peter Quill. Like it was a total different Peter Quill. And this is clearly after Thor: Love and Thunder, right? Because Thor is not in here, not in this film. So this is clearly after they dropped him off, and they go in their separate ways. Okay. Blinded, where are you, buddy? They're separate ways. So I'll say this is look, this is a Guardians movie, a closer to some of the Guardians chapters, but also an origin of Rocket Raccoon on how he became the Bee. This is mostly his movie. His movie. Hey, George.
I wish I can go back in time and skip Love and Thunder.
The problem with Marvel movies, you kind of have to see where they lead up to.
I feel like after this film, I might start backing off that a little bit.
I won't. I'll see the Marvels.
I mean, I'm not like giving up, but it's just like I'm not gonna rush to go see.
Where the hell is Blinded? You know, he loves this. This is his favorite trilogy. What's he doing? Where is he?
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this is gonna be the last great Marvel movie we get for a long time, maybe forever.
Well, the only Marvel movie I know is 100% for coming out on time is gonna be the Marvels. That's the only movie for sure. That's
And
100%.
I don't have high hopes for that film.
The movie I don't have high hopes for is actually Blade.
Oh my goodness! I mean, look, I'm still looking forward to Captain America 4, and I say Captain America 4.
I think that movie's getting pushed back
because I think the title's gonna change for that. Deadpool 3.
That's gonna get pushed back. I think all the 2004 movies are gonna be pushed back because of the strike.
It's just like I like watching this film. I was like, this was the closest to feeling like classic MCU.
Yeah, well, this didn't feel like an MCU film, honestly. It's actually like a James Gunn film.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because it's clearly James Gunn influence in this film. Because some of the stuff MCU they wouldn't let get away with. I'm sorry, like him saying the F word. Like this is the first Marvel movie where he said the F word. I'm like, what? In all these other movies, they never said the F word. I'm like, why not? I think he said it once or something. Like, also the cruelty of.
Oh yeah,
movie.
that was definitely. Well, some of the stuff was kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, and there was decapitation in that pig, whatever, the boar, female boar.
Yeah, did you hear PETA like endorse the film?
Yes, they did.
That was so weird.
Yes, they endorsed the film. That was kind of strange. Blinded. I know you've seen it. Come on, get in here. If you're here.
You know, like it was a great movie. It's definitely one of my favorite films post Endgame. One of my favorite Marvel movies in general.
I think it's in my opinion, I think it's the best Marvel movie since Endgame.
The thing about it though, it's weird. This film made me more excited for DC than Marvel. It's like everyone's like,
Yeah.
Marvel needs a win. Well, Marvel finally got a win, but the thing is, this is, I think, a better thing for DC than Marvel because Marvel's short-term win is going to be DC's long-term win.
Yeah, for sure.
That's basically what it is, and I think Disney is really regretting firing James Gunn back in 2018 because firing him pushed him into the arms of Warner Brothers and DC for the Suicide Squad. They were very impressed by that. So now he's the president of DC Films. And he's going to be directing Superman, which is going to be bigger than any other character that he's worked on.
And it's confirmed Crypto's going to be in it. So we're going to have Superman stock. Yeah. I mean, High Evolutionary. I really like
that guy was a sicko.
That guy, yeah, he was a psychopath, man. That guy was sadistic as a jerk, man.
Like when I saw like how badly Rocket scratched his face up, I was like, you deserve it, dude.
Oh. I like the line, God doesn't exist because I'm here, or whatever. So, whatever. I don't know. Oh my, what he did to counter Earth? Oh my God.
Yo, he just like blew up an entire planet.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think of Marvel. The Marvel movies are obsessed with genocide for some reason.
And yet, like, people say like James Gunn's all about the humor.
There was humor in this, but there was a lot of non-humor in this.
I mean, I know Superman Legacy is not going to cover the origin of Superman, but I'm actually kind of curious to see if James Gunn's going to have a flashback scene where the destruction of Krypton happens.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like that would actually be. I think he would do it a lot better than Zack Snyder.
That's what saying. This is he already confirmed Jimmy Olsen and Crypto are going to be in it. Like, and they're going to
You know,
probably have more valuable parts.
I mean, honestly, like watching this film, I was like, the only thing I wish this film could have done better would have been Adam Warlock.
Yeah, but I mean, Adam Warlock, like they were kind of teasing him to be like featured more in this film, but he was kind of a powerful, kind of like not I want to say a joke character, but like a kid. He was basically a kid.
I mean, look, when Will Poulter still did a very good job. I don't think he was bad. I thought he was very good. And obviously, like if there's one thing that this film did set up or hint at, it is that Adam Warlock has a future in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I just don't know what future he has.
I mean, after credits scene because of New Guardian, like it's
yeah,
New Guardian.
because like obviously he was very important in the Infinity Saga in the comics.
Yeah, well, that ain't happening now.
But that ain't gonna happen now. So it's like, what role is he gonna play?
He does have the thing on his. He does have the thing on his forehead in the movie, but it's not the Soul Stone.
But it's like I am curious, like what role is he gonna play in the Multiverse Saga if he has any?
Oh yeah, I mean,
because that's the thing. So obviously, like this film hints at like a new Guardians of the Galaxy team, saying that like maybe something could happen in the future. And obviously, the one post credit scene said Star-Lord will return, and Chris Pratt did say, if the script looks good, he's open to returning. He's like one of the few that's open to still returning.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like, are they gonna like what role could these characters play?
So I'll say this. We all know Zoe Saldana and Batista are done, right? Like that's confirmed. I think Mantis is done. I think Mantis is done. Okay. I do think Nebula is done because Batista is going with her, right? Her character in Nebula, they're gonna do the kids thing, right? They're gonna
yeah.
So I do think Carrie Gillian's done and Porn Club is done because if the one I'm guaranteed 100% joining DC, I think it's the Mantis actress. It's 100% joining DC. I think she's 100%. I'm joining DC
because
of all the Guardians.
With like characters like Rocket and Groot, not only because they're still in the Guardians of the Galaxy and they're leading the new team, they're voice actors basically.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Like, I
think I say this: the actress for Mantis, I think she could play Mercy Graves if they ever really want to do that, and don't make her a wasted character like they did in BVS.
Actually make her a character.
Yeah. Like I could see her as Mercy Graves. If they do Lex Luthor, I mean, if you're doing a new DCU, you got to establish Lex Luthor. You don't have to make him exactly in the first movie, like in Superman Legacy, but you just got to know, like, Luthor Corp is there, Lex Luthor exists. You just got to let it be known. That's all. You don't have to see him. But yeah, I think those four are done. 100% done. Obviously, because we know Star-Lord is returning. Rocket Raccoon and Groot are returning. We got Warlock, who's gonna they're gonna use Warlock, right? They're gonna use Warlock. They're gonna develop Warlock more and more, and becomes as he's Alice Cocoon, he'll learn to become more. He'll get older and older because he's still a child technically. He's kind of an immature child. So they'll have him. They'll have, I guess, Cosmo. Caglin, whatever his name is, and also, why did I have that girl, Juju, whatever her name is, Juju? Like, why is she a Guardian? That one, remember from that young girl's race? They have like one of her becomes a Guardian for some reason.
I'm actually gonna look up and see who, because
I didn't understand that. Like,
Okay, so like apparently the the
yeah.
one rescue child that's on the team is actually like a major is a character in the comics.
What's her name?
Uh,
Oh,
Phyla-Vell.
oh yeah.
So perhaps maybe like that's setting something up.
Oh, she's. Yeah, she's a Marvel. Oh, Captain. She's in the Captain Marvel stuff. She does become Captain Marvel.
I am curious, like
I don't think.
what
I
you
don't think they're gonna do that though. Like, yeah. See, this. Yeah, yeah. Here's a problem with that. We don't see the original Captain Marvel in because they would have to introduce her in the first movie, the original Captain. Introduce him in the original Captain Marvel. I don't think they're gonna do that with her in the MCU. You know, like you know, the MCU likes to change stuff up around, right? Like, so I don't know if she's gonna become a Captain Marvel.
I will say this movie also reminds everyone there's a difference between a family and a work family.
Oh, they're family. All they
Yeah,
do is
they're a
argue with
family
each other.
while the Avengers are just a work family.
Yeah,
Like literally, like it felt sad when like the Guardians disbanded because it was more like we still love each other, but we got to find our different paths.
yeah, yeah. It's like that's true. Like that's true. What was I
And
gonna
like
say?
I had a feeling like something was gonna happen at the end with like Peter Quill like finding finding his grandpa when it was brought up like earlier in the film.
Why isn't she the Supreme? Why isn't she the Supreme? What's it called in the first film? She's Supreme, right? Like not Sorcerer Supreme, but like a Supreme. What's it called? I forget the first part, but I end up betting. I don't know. Um, I just think if that's the case, she becomes that. This is the wrong movie to introduce her in. Like the problem is, I don't think he should. I don't think James Gunn would do that. Honestly. Yeah, but I was gonna say, yeah, they're a family in this film, but they do fight a lot. They do care for each other. Um, it's funny though. It's funny though. Like Gamora, I'll say this: Gamora was a bitch in this whole film. Oh my
Yo,
god.
literally
Yeah, Supreme
like
Intelligence.
here's the thing, like when it comes to like Nebula and Gamora, it's like while Nebula still has her like short temper, it's like she had the moral
But
compass that Gamora used to have in like the second Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you saw like Nebula
oh,
now had that moral compass.
oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, Nebula. I mean, Nebula was being Nebula, right? But the problem with this Gamora, why I have a problem with this Gamora, I like the film. Look, I love the film. This Gamora was the 2014 version, right? But if you remember Endgame, Nebula from the future tells her what happens and stuff like that, and she becomes, she becomes an ally to the Guardians. So she joins the fight in Endgame when they go back to fight Thanos in the future, right?
Yeah.
Why does she all of a sudden become a bitchy attitude? She shouldn't have that attitude. Like, seriously. She should not have that bitchy attitude. I mean, oh,
Yeah,
she
no,
was
like
old, Peter Krill. I mean, I understand, Peter Krill has to understand. This is not, like, Peter Krill was a lovesick puppy in this film. I
no,
like,
oh yeah, like there were times where he was definitely like
oh, boy.
love sick for her.
Oh, my God. I'm like, dude, you're living an alternate, what are you, Wanda all of a sudden, not in the same
Oh
reality?
my
This is a different
goodness.
Gamora. Like, what the hell? Like, this is not the same Gamora. She looks like the Gamora, but she ain't Gamora from Like,
Like this isn't the Gamora that like has that shared all those moments with you, Drax, Groot, Rocket.
I've noticed a lot of things in this phase. In this multiverse saga, this phase 4 and 5. Jane passes away. So Thor doesn't have a love interest. Peter Krill and and Gamora part ways. So he doesn't have a love interest. Spider-Man, his memory gets erased. He doesn't have a love interest. Doctor Stephen Strange has to let Christine Palmer go. He doesn't have a love interest. Okay, we have other love interests. And you know what? Good, because I don't think every hero needs a love interest.
I mean, Scott Lang still has his lady.
But I think she's important to him. But I think not every hero and a love interest is an integral part to the character. I mean, Zendaya Michelle Jones, MJ. Yeah, she kind of is.
Well,
but I don't think every love interest.
she's probably gonna return.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
That's like not like gonna be forever, but like as far as like Doctor Strange and like Star-Lord, like that is never gonna happen.
Okay, blind.
Like,
They're never. Yeah.
They're never gonna get like their women back.
Look,
like
when I look at DC,
Wanda's never gonna get Vision back.
Yeah. Look when I look at DC. I look at Superman. He kind of needs Lois. Batman kind of needs Catwoman. I mean, in the Batman movie, he needed Catwoman because Catwoman did bring out some of his openness, right? To be more open towards others, right? Because Batman was Batman's very close-minded if you really think about it. But like once in that movie, he learned to be more open about others, right? Like to me, not every comic book character needs a love interest. I'm just like, okay. I have no problem with them having family or friends or whatever, but not every character needs one. But yeah, in this movie, like he was a lovesick puppy the whole time, man. I just love him. Nebula, you saw the trailer about Nebula, like Gamora's like, that sounds like her. It's like, and Nebula and Peter Quill look at each other, or like, no, and Peter Quill has that look, like the possibility of being with Nebula. Nebula's like, quit. She's like, you have nice eyes.
They were replaced by my father.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, I thought Nebula did great. I think Nebula was a standout in this film.
Like obviously you saw like a lot of characters in this film had like the best arcs in the MCU, like Rocket Raccoon, Nebula.
Yeah.
Like they've gone like a long way.
I just love how
Also, I'll say this: Karen Gillian's performance as Nebula has dramatically improved throughout.
Yeah, I know why you're saying this because you don't think he's good as an action star, right? When he doesn't show a comedy and stuff.
Oh no, he this was like his best performance. I feel like.
Yeah. Nebula. I just love like Nebula. Drax is funny in this film because he's so. I just love the part where like you're stupid, and Mantis just calls him stupid, and Mantis is not a mean person.
But like then like Drax like calms all the kids down. He's like, "We're gonna make Bucky noises."
Yeah, Drax is hilarious.
But I think it kind of like shows that like in all honesty, like Drax's big skill is being a father that makes children laugh.
Yeah, you could definitely tell Drax is
like you can tell like
not
a
strict father. He's not a strict father. He's like,
but you can tell he also misses like raising a kid. I think that's why he takes Mantis under his wing because like he feels like he can be like a father figure to her.
Yeah, Mantis and Quill in the ship. Mantis and Quill. It's like I don't know. They died like 50. It's like you're gonna die at 50. What?
Well, I mean, that was back then in the 80s. Like, back in the 80s, if you were 50, you were considered old. Now, 50, you're kind of considered young.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, my God. Like, because they don't fully understand the human customs, right? The human, right? Obviously. Because the only time they've been on Earth was basically, I think, on Endgame. Oh no, Mantis and Batista were in Christmas special, but in Endgame,
Mantis and Drax were
wiped. They were also wiped before, or were blipped before the Christmas special. Yeah, like and Rocket Raccoon, everybody knows is from Earth.
Also, I'm glad they didn't
All the
have to
animals were.
rely on mentioning other stuff in the MCU.
Yeah. So as you know, High Evolutionary went to Earth. That's where he all got the animals he experimented on. So he did go to Earth, and that's where he based Counter Earth on. So like he is from Earth. Rocket Raccoon. It's obvious. So from the start, you knew he's from Earth. And yeah, and High Evolutionary visit there. Now, High Evolutionary sounds like a really, really old person. Like he's been around for, I don't know, a long time. Like he's not. I wonder if he's not human at all. Before, like, because it sounds like he's been around for centuries. So I don't know if he was human at one point. I know in the comics, I think he was a human, but this is totally different than the comics. This is not the same High Evolutionary from the comics. It's a total different. I mean, the Marvel villains from the comics to the big screen MCU, they tend to change a lot. Like Zemo was Hydra in the comics, but in the movie he wasn't Hydra. If you understand my point, It's, but yeah, he's said to be visit. I mean, the Statue of Liberty with the Statue of High Evolutionary. And he wanted to create a perfect. All he wanted to do was create a perfect society. So, like, once Krill mentions that they saw two of his creations mugging each other, that's when he knew he had to destroy the planet. Because that's not perfect society, right? If there's a perfect society, it can't be any crime going on. So he based that Earth obviously off Earth, and he based he created a sovereign, right? Mother.
Speaking of raccoons, I feel like I hear raccoons fighting outside.
it's Walker Raccoon. What's he doing?
Oh my goodness, it's so loud.
It's Walker Raccoon. What's he doing there? What's he doing there?
I don't even want to look out and see what's going on.
No, don't even think about looking at Walker Raccoon. You hear that? Walker Raccoon is outside George's house.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. I don't even want to see the fight that's going on outside.
So Blinded, I'm pretty sure you like this movie. It's okay. You like the movie, right?
This movie was a masterpiece. Did you see me say that? Yeah.
I see how it is, Blinded. Oh.
This is their best movie. I said.
You know, it's making more money than you thought.
Oops. Oh, that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what do you guys think of it?
No, it was a great movie. It's going to be the last great Marvel movie we see for a long time.
I think it's the best Marvel movie. I personally, I know we joke on the Marvel saying it's the best movie since Endgame. I think this is the best movie since Endgame.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's kind of hard to argue against.
They didn't lie this time.
No, they did not lie.
They'll lie when they say that about the Marvels.
They did not lie about that.
Oh, really? Defeated?
Oh boy.
So, honestly, this movie puts Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium to shame.
Oh, it's not even the same league, man. Not even the same league.
Yeah.
It sucker punches Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, it sucker punches Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness too, man.
Well, it sucker punches everything.
Yeah, I mean,
I had to mention those. I mentioned those two specifically because, those two, not only are they the worst post-Endgame, but also they tried replicating James Gunn's style.
Yeah,
and failed miserably at it.
No, this movie, because I said that, and so a couple of people were like, "Oh, I want to go that far." I'm like, "No, I'm going this far. I'm gonna call it a masterpiece. I don't care." This movie, it was emotional. It was sad. It had every single thing that we criticize Marvel for, and he actually did it right. He took all the complaints, and they even made fun of the complaints, right?
Because he goes on Twitter, he sees it all the time.
Yeah, that moment where Star-Lord's he's like, "Oh, another villain that just his parents didn't love him, and he wants to take over the universe." That was a jab at all the Marvel movies.
Well, also
Yeah, it was.
he's been open about like how people are feeling superhero fatigue, and he's not just talking about Marvel. He's also talking about
Right.
DC as well. So it's like he knows that to keep the genre moving, you gotta spice things up.
He's
You gotta do
he's right.
something new and unique.
He's right, because almost
Right.
every single Marvel movie out there, but like not all of them, they're always talking about genocide or trying to take over the universe or the world. Like it's tiring.
You actually have a villain that actually pulls it off. For once.
Well, yeah, because he actually did it. You know, he created. He didn't want to destroy the universe. He did commit genocide, but he wanted to create life. But if that life is not perfect, he destroys it. That's what the Counter Earth. Because when Krill blind, I don't know, blind, right? When Krill mentions that when going to the ship where the hallucination is where he is, right? They see a bunch of the creatures, the humanoid animal-like creatures getting mugged, right? So one of them's getting mugged.
Right.
And when he mentions that to how the evolutionary has like, you know, that stunned him. That scarred him a bit. You could tell, like that shocked him, and that would force him to like destroy Counter Earth, because in a perfect society, you cannot have something like that happen.
Right.
Yeah, that's true to Degrassi, and now they're paying the price for it.
Mm-hmm.
Disney's probably like regretting firing him back in 2018.
Yeah, you
No
can
one
tell.
cares if Counter Earth was ruining this movie. This movie was way too good.
Yeah, and you in this movie,
Right. There was a lot of comic book inaccuracies, but it doesn't
Yeah,
matter because the
Rest.
movie was actually.
I
Well,
mean-
that's Marvel for you, man. And James Gunn does that though. Like James Gunn knows the comics.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's what
you
I'm saying.
remember, like you have to remember, Tony. What you see on the comics and on the MCU, you know this, Tony Wells, everybody. It's different. And remember, the 2017 film, Volume 2. He was at after credit scene created by a Sovereign, and Sovereign was also created by the High Evolutionary.
No, this was the movie where I didn't care about.
And I actually think Adam Warlock in the game was amazing though. But like that's a more of an adult, more mature Adam Warlock, and because he kind of was an asshole in this movie a little bit. He still has some arrogance of some, you know. But Adam Warlock's always been and will be a little bit cocky.
No, I don't. I really don't mind that because the movie was still a good movie.
Yeah, but overall, Adam Warlock's always been a little bit cocky, a little bit, right? Like that's who he is.
Right. But after this movie, I don't give a shit about Marvel anymore. I'll read the comics, but I could care less about the MCU.
Yeah, it's just like the thing is like everyone says this is the movie that Marvel needed. The thing is, it's like this is a short-term victory for Marvel, but a long-term victory for DC.
You have to have success after success to be.
No, in my opinion, this movie is so good that they should be worried. They're never going to make a movie this good. That's how much high praise this movie deserves.
Later.
Like here's the thing: James Gunn's next movie is Superman Legacy.
Yeah,
that's like the first official film for the new DCU.
It's not even a Marvel movie. Good point. It's a DC movie, though.
Yeah.
Like I would be concerned.
I'm telling you, like
because
I'm nervous for 2024 movie slate because I think a lot of things are gonna get moved from there because of the strike. Like Blade is shut down, and that's like how many times has the Blade?
Well, I mean, this movie didn't do well. It still didn't do well.
But Blade is shut down, and I guarantee Blade's being moved to 2025. I just know
it's gonna have to.
Yeah. And Captain America might be the only one that might be saved to get a deal done because they filmed some of it. Right? We know the shows.
Well, they were far into production, so
yeah.
Right.
So Captain America might be the one that's saved. We know the shows have been shut down because they film a long time.
Like here's the thing. I think Thunderbolts and
that haven't even started filming yet.
Yeah,
those and I think gonna film. Because
Deadpool, I feel like is in an interesting spot because I think the script was done before the strike.
Yeah, but the problem is
the thing is, it's like Ryan Reynolds likes to improvise.
Yeah, but he won't do. The problem is they're gonna find out the writers, and they're gonna forcibly have them shut down.
Because
Like
like
it did with
Daredevil was forced to shut down today.
Wonder Man 2. And I think one else, if he had any respect for the writers, he would not film. And if these actors and actresses and directors truly have respect for the writers, I know it's in the contract. I would not. I would say no. I'm not filming until these writers get paid for equal share. Like you could talk about and you could strike with them. You know, you see them on the picket lines, and you could talk about the media how they should be fair. It should be paid, right? But you know what shows them more? You know what shows more solidarity? Stop filming. Decide, no, I'm not going to film.
The thing is,
I'm not going to show up.
I feel like a lot of people in the industry, like,
I think
they talk a big game about supporting the writers, but they really don't.
Yeah, I think
it's more like we're gonna wait. We're just gonna wait.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys are ready, we'll.
All right, how about this? You make a lot of money. Why don't you, you know what? Decide to give a paycheck. Not a paycheck, but not a paycheck. But how about you decide? What's it called? In sports, some athletes do it to help support their teams. They decide to negotiate, make less than. Yeah, make less. How about that? And so the writers could get a little more. Give some of the money.
I'm gonna say this for people who are complaining about the writer strike because we're not getting content or I can't make videos about it. There are like thousands of movies and shows that have come out that you've probably never seen. Just watch those.
We're gonna get shows. Most of the shows and movies are gonna come out this year. Okay, the summer is probably fine. Okay.
I think this year, for the most part, this year should be
short term
is
like fine.
2024 and beyond.
Right. No, but Captain America 4 should be worried.
Yeah, I think
every single Marvel movie that is production right now should be worried.
Even if like you're near done filming, because they do a lot of reshoots.
Daredevil was not even close to being done filming because apparently they had like 5 or 6 months left of shooting. Like, like this strike has screwed over Marvel a lot.
They might as well shut down. If they care about the quality, they might as well shut down. Because we already know Marvel Studios doesn't operate the same way as other productions, right? They're changing things on the fly constantly, even during editing. So
I think Marvel should take advantage of this to like honestly.
Well, they can't really take advantage of it. They can only take advantage of it in terms of scripts that have not been submitted, right?
Yeah. But the problem is, if the director's going to strike, who's going to have to direct these movies?
Oh my goodness!
Right. Well, then it's just going to be delayed even more.
They're going to have AI direct.
They should, after seeing this movie, they should listen. The people on Twitter, because people on Twitter, they're biased. Because, like I said, I call the movie a masterpiece. And the way it's performing is not good. If I was Marvel, I would delay everything from 2024. I would put it in a hiatus on Marvel. That's what I would do, because it's only going to continue to ruin the. I know obviously Captain Marvel did much better than the Guardians movies, box office wise, but I don't think that movie is going to do very well. Right? It has Dune, a sandwich between Dune and Hunger Games. Which those movies aren't big movies, but they could take a chunk of their audience, right?
Also, honestly, I think those two movies are going to end up being better than the Marvels. I think those two movies are going to end up being better. At least Dune will.
Like Degrassi and I think like Hall H, where they have the big, reveals of stuff, it's going to be nothing this year.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. They you know what? Maybe this might be a blessing because I keep saying this, the genre is oversaturated. People are sick and tired. This movie, in my opinion, I mean, the audience score is very high, right?
Is it still 96?
Yeah, I think it is. But I'm serious. I can write a whole thesis and a whole article about why this movie is better than Endgame, Infinity War, even the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which are been my favorite movies. Like this one, to me, was the only Marvel movie, maybe outside of the Winter Soldier, but this one was the only one that actually had something poignant to say. Like there's something actually deep about this movie, which, like I say, I've never really said that a lot about comic book movies. I think that's always been their weakness, is that they don't have much to say. It's all just action and character stuff, which is good, but you kind of need a message. You need to say something that's actually like, that's a good perspective to have, right? Like this movie was about self-hatred, people that hate themselves, right? That's why the High Evolutionary is such a good villain, is because he hated
He
himself
was a great
constantly. Yeah, he's a great villain. Like people are like, "Oh, he's one-dimensional," and he's like, "No." How do you think he's one-dimensional just because he's not sympathetic? It's like he doesn't need to be sympathetic to be a great villain. So many people misunderstood
There you
that.
go.
I mean, the moment he shows
That's
up,
the,
the
that's the
moment where
Marvel
he
formula. That's the problem, Marvel.
right.
Too many times they made their villains too sympathetic.
But this is yeah, that's actually a good point. But this villain, the moment he shows up, when he's talking to the I forget, I guess it would be the High Princess, but I forget her name.
September.
The well, what's her name? What's her name? She's the she's part of the what's the people called? The sovereign.
Yeah, they're sovereign.
The church. Yeah, when he shows up and he gets an apple box and he puts it on the ground and he stands up and he yells at her. It was like you didn't even need to say anything. That spoke so much words of his character, right? Like he's like she's obviously tall, right? That actress is really tall. She's like 6'3", and so they did that intentionally, and that works because his whole character is about like he's not trying to perfect the universe. He's trying to perfect himself because he's not perfect at all, and he knows that. And that's why he got insecure when Rocket was like, "Oh, you got to do this, right, to fix the chamber, right, so the monsters didn't go crazy." And he's like, and he was so pissed off that Rocket, this thing that he created, to figure that out, right?
Yeah.
So that was an insecurity on him, and that's what made that character really good. Is that character had an insecurity, and that's why he was a villain, right? And the movie is about the rest of the Guardians and their self-hatred, right? Like Rocket, he hates himself. They're using like Drax is the only character who doesn't hate himself, and everybody is like dunking on him for it, right? There's that scene with him and Mantis and Nebula, and they're like, "Oh, you're dumb," right? And he's like, "Well, like what's the problem with that, right?" But the problem is they're jealous that Drax just can accept himself, right? Well, the rest of them have their own insecurities and they have their own issues, and they have to like come to resolve that, right? That's why they split up in the ending. It was more so like it wasn't a group in terms of like we're family, but it's more a family in the sense like they were a therapy group. Like they actually needed each other to find out that they like can move on beyond like their own problems, right? Like their own issues, their own flaws. That's what and I was saying that was what made me cry in the movie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna like say I didn't cry, but I actually cried because of that. Because I was like, wow, there's never been like a deeper message in these Marvel movies, and so that one always, like this movie actually touched me, right? Like that you can move beyond your flaws and it's still, you can still be okay, right? Yeah, Drax is like ignorance bliss. They made fun of him because of that, but that's the truth, right? Like he has his own flaws, but he's okay with that, right? That's who he is. He wouldn't be Drax any other way. And that's why I love these characters. Even Nebula, like Nebula was such a great character. Like she's probably one of the best MCU characters, and she's not flashy. She's not Captain America. She's not Iron Man. She doesn't have all these cool powers, but like she has a legitimate arc that's actually kind of like, wow, like this is actually like good character writing. I always said James Gunn, like I'm not lying when I say James Gunn is a good writer, right? He understands how to craft good characters. That's his like biggest strength is his characters. Same thing with Peacemaker. Peacemaker is a great character study, and it makes you a character that you hate and you not like.
But whether he changes the character, how the character is from the comics to the big
Right.
screen or the show, he does it. He does it so well to make people like those
Right.
characters.
I
You
mean,
like
you know, and
that's the
what
opposite of Zack
Degrassi's saying
Snyder,
here
right?
too.
Yeah.
Right. You know what
Like
Degrassi's saying here too. Like I felt that too. That this was written by someone who loves animals. Because I love animals. I have a dog. I have a cat. I have a
Peter
bird.
loved this film.
Yeah, yeah. No, once I watched the movie, I was like, no, this is not the animal cruelty I thought. This is actually like
Oh,
legitimately again, like trying to show like these animals are. I've always said, you know, like they may not talk like us. They're not. They may not have the capabilities like us, but I still think that they are smart in their own ways, right? I always said like intelligence is different. You know, like we don't even understand intelligence completely, right? So it's like, why
mhm.
should we shit on animals because they're not like us? You know, so
Well,
no,
yeah, like
this is a great movie in my opinion. It's a phenomenal movie, and
I
and you can go into the filmmaking of it too. It's a great all around. Sorry for cutting you off.
like I do. You know, I'm gonna say this. I think Nebula was my favorite character in this film.
That she was. She has you know that scene where in the hallway and they're fighting? She
Yeah,
has a really cool moment where she gets broken apart and she has to
yeah.
rebuild and she's fighting the hallway. That was so badass.
You,
That was
like
unbelievably badass.
you can almost
There's
make it
so
sound.
that whole hallway scene. They'll
You
never
can,
top that. I'm sorry.
you can almost, I know you can almost make it like this film. Like I know they joked about, but you can almost sense like Nebula and Quill would eventually get together. You know, like he
Right.
kind of they joked about it. I mean, that was a funny scene. It's like
Right.
stop, quit
That
it.
was a but I keep everything. It's just I'm telling you, it's so crazy. This movie is just like no, yeah, I agree, Degrassi though. The dogs are I mean, there are dumb dogs, but there are smart too. I think they're just smart in their own ways, right? I always think people are smart in their own ways. Why can't
Mhm.
animals be smart in their own ways, right? Like my dog, she's a bit weird, but like she's very smart, right? Like I don't talk to her like just like a regular dog. I just talk to her like she's a human being. Like, who cares if she can't talk back? So you know that so that's what you know there's so much stuff and even Peter Quill and his whole like moving on and stuff like that and being like comfortable and like you don't need a necessarily need a partner all the time and you can figure out who you are and like that stuff was touching too like I said like this movie felt like it took risks. There was a lot of like
Don't even think about that, but I don't even joke about it. I know
who's
what you're thinking. Is that the controversial thing
oh my
everybody's been
god,
talking a couple months ago?
Oh
Uh,
oh
gosh.
my god,
do you remember? Oh my god.
oh god, but I mean
That's, a, that's
I'm
hilarious. Oh,
yeah, oh
I
man,
like Cosmo and what's his name? What's Sean Connery's
Cosmo
character's
and
name? Krabblin?
Kraglin. Kraglin.
Kraglin. I like the
Yeah.
little subplot, the little like bad dog, bad
Oh,
dog. I
Marcus.
think,
Marcus, Guardians of the Galaxy was better than every single
of
MCU
course, of
movie.
course, it's better than Thor 4.
No,
That's
Every single
like
MCU movie, way better. I'm sorry.
Dripping water is better than Love and Thunder.
This is the kind of movie that Endgame should have been. Endgame was not this movie. I'm sorry.
and game was too slow.
Now,
I mean,
Endgame is trying to be this movie where it wraps up all the plot threads. It has some good ideas with the characters, but they didn't go all the way. They should have
No,
focused on the six characters and not all these other characters. It should have been about Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Hawkeye. That's what it should have been.
you know what?
Forget the
I don't.
nostalgia bait.
We don't really need Avenger movies to have every single Avenger in it, or like so
Right.
not just Avengers, but every other hero like in it too. We don't really need that.
No, we don't. We don't need that. These movies should be focused on the characters and giving them
Hmm.
like they should actually say something with these characters. Like forget about like losing people because I seen people are like, oh, there's other Marvel movies that are dark. I get that, right? But the point of this movie is that the characters were affected by it and they actually had to think about how they can overcome it, right? They actually had to like personify like, oh, I can move beyond this, right? And most of these Marvel movies, they always present these problems, these darker issues as like window dressing. They're never actually part of the story, right? The characters never really grapple with the reality of certain things, right? So, no, see, I'm telling you, I agree. I actually agree with you, Marcus. No, I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, same. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel the same way for No Way Home and a lot of these movies. They seem like they have emotion, right? People
Hmm.
die in it, all these things. And this movie, by the way, it's an emotional movie where no one dies.
Nobody dies.
No one dies. So
The
that
only
says
part, the
something,
only,
right?
the only emotional part is the people that die that you get attached to is the animals that the
Right,
friends Walker Raccoon made with
right.
like that.
But there was a point there to their deaths,
Yeah,
though. It wasn't just about them dying, and you should
no,
feel that.
yeah,
It was the fact that these animals were were used for something um else, right?
yeah,
They were tools, and that's what makes it sad, right? It's like he just straight up. There's scenes where he's like he doesn't even like have this emotional like what he's doing is wrong, right? Like it's just like no, just throw them in the incinerator, and he walks away, and it's just like sort of nothing to him,
Well,
right?
also like
he's a mad scientist, high evolutionary.
No,
their deaths basically signaled the end of Rocket's innocence.
right,
Because like at that point, Rocket just like
Oh, MCU could never
snapped.
hold up to anime fight scenes. I'm sorry, like MC.
yeah,
If you compare to Dragon Ball Z, the fight scenes, the Dragon Ball Z fight scenes would destroy the whole world.
Oh my goodness! Like
Like, sorry, like Goku would destroy like everybody in the MCU. I'm sorry, if you went Super Saiyan.
mm,
I mean, there's Frieza there. He destroyed planets
right,
just with his finger.
Frieza would just kill Thanos right away.
Yeah. Oh, Thanos has no
no,
chance against Dragon Ball Z characters. No
Yo,
chance.
except maybe Yamcha.
That's true.
I mean, like for goodness sakes, like Yamcha is like the most useless character ever.
Goku would just be like one slap Thanos. Oh, he's done.
No, Goku would give Thanos all the Infinity Stones and be like, "I want to face you at full power."
Vegeta might,
no, my God,
because Vegeta likes that too. He likes to
But
fight.
it's just like honestly, just like watching this movie, it felt like the end of an era.
yes,
But I'm not just talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm talking about like in general.
right. The Marvel universe, like
I
I
mean,
just
there's still some projects that I'm excited for, but it's like not a whole lot.
after this, you know, there are characters that I absolutely love. Like I love Daredevil, right? But like seriously, I don't know if I could watch an MCU movie after that because it's like it's not. Yes, nothing I don't think can top this, but I don't think even anything will even try to attempt to be like learn the lessons of why this movie is good, right? They're not going to see that this movie is good because of the character stuff, because of the character arcs, the risk that it takes, right? There's a lot of dark things in that. Like, you know, that moment
Mhm.
when Star-Lord kills that guy, that was pretty hardcore for a Marvel movie. Like, he just dragged that guy and used him as a surfboard and drowned him. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa, right? Or when Adam Warlock burns that guy, and
he
you're like,
he
wow,
was
this
supposed to. That was supposed to be funny
right.
too.
Yeah, that was supposed to be funny. But like there's a lot of like stuff like that where you're like, wow, that's really horrific for a
Why?
Marvel
If he could
movie.
have
I'm
done that the whole time,
surprised.
why is he have, how come it's the only time he's done it that once in the whole movie? He could have done
Right.
it.
He could have done that a couple of times. But yeah, even when he no, he did that another time when he ripped off the pig's head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was
Oh, that's
also yeah.
hilarious. We're on the same team.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like this the moment it started, it didn't feel like a Marvel movie to me. It felt very like I was
You know?
like I couldn't believe that this what I was watching was a Marvel movie, right?
Do you think
Like
you know how they
it was
did
weird.
Adam Warlock's flight scenes? Do you think they're gonna do a Superman in this film? Because you saw the post.
His Superman is gonna be fucking amazing. I don't care what they say. I don't care if anybody's like I think his Superman is actually going to be, again, intelligent. It's going to be smart. I think he's going to have something like
He's gonna be
poignant to
funny.
say. Yeah, he's going to be funny. He's going to be like the character that we all love. Like,
Yeah, and we're gonna have Lois Lane, who's actually funny. Could be funny because like Amy Adams,
Has a
and Lois Lane.
personality.
right.
They were perfect for each other. Amy Adams and Henry Cavill's Superman, Lois Lane were perfect for each other because they never smile. They were like so depressed all the time.
Yeah, they didn't have good chemistry.
No, I had terrible chemistry, and that's something hard to say about Amy Adams. Like,
Right.
It's just like, how is it that you got someone who played who's played like happy characters in Enchanted and the Muppets and make her a very dull Lois Lane?
Right.
we haven't had a good live action Lois Lane since, well, the original. I mean, the shows have like Terry Hatcher. You got Terry Hatcher. You got the one from the Superman and Lois. But I'm talking on the big screen, the original.
The big screen, it's just been lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to. They're this. I just hope that he does a good job because it seems like he's the only person right now. Maybe you could say Matt Reeves. I'm trying to think of another director.
Mhm.
And Matt Reeves. There's very few directors in the comic book space that I feel like they actually want to do something where it's like this. They're treating this like any movie, which I think that's what it should be. It shouldn't be like this is a commercial movie. Let's just make a basic movie. That's not going to fly anyone, right? And that's
Of course,
why
sure,
I
yeah.
would.
Of course, sure.
I'm gonna
Because there's no
watch it.
DC is Snyderverse.
Well, I'm gonna watch. Like I said, I always watch movies to give them
Mhm.
their credit, right? If I'm not interested, then I'll say I'm not interested. But I'll still at least give them a fair shake.
Well,
Or at least
Superman
try.
Legacy is going to be better than any upcoming Marvel film, in my opinion. Not
Yeah.
like hating. I'm just saying, like, I feel like the effort will be in there. Like, I'm not saying any of these upcoming Marvel movies won't be good. I'm talking about like a unique, phenomenal film that will change the game. That,
For me,
like,
the bar's been raised. The bar has been
I mean,
raised
the
extraordinarily,
thing is,
and you got to meet
when
that
you
bar.
see so many, it's like you want more. Like, you want it to be better. And I think Marvel did that to themselves. Did that because they were making those kind of movies for some time. Like 2014
Right.
was one of their best years. You had Winter Soldier, you had Guardians of the Galaxy. You raised the bar every time, and you
Right.
raised the expectations for yourself.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And
So, like,
some people I keep seeing they're like, oh, but this movie had controversy and it's like the animal cruelty in it. To me, if a movie has some type of controversy and it's sparking a conversation, and it's in a way where it's like should they done this or whatever it was, right? Like in this case, I feel like the movie will actually benefit from the controversy because people are going to come to the conversation being like, no, they actually had something. There's a point to it. It wasn't just torture porn, right?
Mm.
It was for you to see and internalize it, right? Just like when they show you like the meat being ground up. I understand people can't see that, but like you watching that and being like, holy shit, this makes me feel sick, right? That's to incentivize you. Listen, that's how the food is being made, right? So if you're sick and you're like, I can't do this, right? I can't, like, you need to understand, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this to the animals for food, right? We need to
Yeah.
find another way that's not, like this damn like disgusting, right? And torturous, like it's like
Inhumane.
inhumane, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think that's what I always liked about movies is movies that actually try to be like they make a point about society in a way where you like most people wouldn't look at it that way, right? Like most people
Mhm.
wouldn't understand it, right? That's the point of a movie. And Marvel movies are entertainment. I understand that, but Marvel movies should try to be more than just entertainment, and it shouldn't. And I don't like using the word woke and all of these things, right? But a lot of people say that because a lot of the messaging is disingenuous. That's how I feel sometimes. It doesn't actually say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just sort of there to be like hip and like, oh, look at this is cool, and let's put all these people in our movie because it's acceptable now. But it's like, I get that, but you still need to say something that's on a level that everybody can understand,
to,
right?
to, to me, like the best MCU movies are the ones that I feel like do that.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
here's the
They
thing,
should do
like
that, right?
before Phase 4, there was really only 3 MCU movies I would probably say I didn't care for and would only rewatch if I was doing like a full-fledged marathon. So like I'm not hating on the MCU. I've always been a fan of the MCU. The thing is, because like comic book movies bars have been raised so high and they're settling for mediocrity, hoping that like the big event films are the ones that get people in. It's like you need more
Right.
than just that. Because at a
Right.
certain point, by the time you get to the big event film, no matter how good it is, are people gonna care?
Right.
Are
Most
people gonna
most
like that?
people.
That's the problem with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. Like that was your opportunity because you had your big baddie for the saga in there, and you blew it.
Oh
Right
yeah,
now, the big
oh
baddie
man,
that everyone's talking about is the High Evolution.
the high evolutionary is, I would say, they're. I just think he is like the model. He is the character that is almost like what the all the other characters or villains should have been written like.
Yeah.
Like I call this movie almost like the ultimate Marvel movie in the sense that it takes all the elements that we liked from the previous movies, and it looks at it and it goes like, you know what, maybe we should do this instead because this didn't work, right? Maybe we should focus on the characters, each character, and give them an arc instead of them just being like, characters who are like, oh yeah, I kind of like Black Widow in the Avengers movies because she has that one cool action scene, but she's not a character, right? She's just someone that's there for the action for the team, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
no, they need something more, right? Like they need to have their own personality, they need to have their own struggle. Like you need to actually feel like they were characters, they were people, right? You need to break through that. Um, so it's just kind of like it's like weird because it's like this movie, it's an MCU movie, but it just does it so much better than everything that has come before it. Where I'm like, if we go all of a sudden now back to what we're getting, which I guess is serviceable, it's fine at some points, unless it's Ant-Man 3. But like now I'm like, no, you can't go back to that. You have to actually do something totally different. Like you got to just wipe off the board. Like it's like someone, like I'm trying to find an analogy that works. Um, I don't know. It's like once someone does a mechanic in a game that everybody's like, oh, I can't live without that mechanic, right? In a game where it's like, I don't know, like a HUD menu or like a map system or like the dual analog sticks. Like once they put that on a controller, right? Can you go back to a controller with one stick for
Mm-hmm.
an open world
Yeah,
3D world? No, you
No.
can't. You can't.
yeah. The other problem I have is like they're relying on future movies to make some of these movies age up better. Like one of the things when Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium came out that drove me insane. I forget who it was. I think it was Soups. He said like something along the lines of it it's a puzzle piece that will eventually fit once you see the future. It's like I don't want like future movies. Like I don't want like to rely on future movies to make a movie better in the long run. Like
Mm-hmm.
Right.
make good movies right now. That's what
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was. It was a good, no, great movie at this moment in time. It's not saying, okay, we're gonna make sure this movie makes sense in the future when we have something bigger happening. It's like,
Right.
no, they focused on it right now. And they didn't even need to use like, and the thing is, it's like the previous movies with the Guardians, like yeah, they were great as well, but it's not like they're a piece that's gonna make the next Guardians film better.
Right.
because that's driving me insane. This whole like we're gonna build it all up and it's gonna make sense in the future.
Yeah.
It's like, just make a good movie right now. That's what they need to focus on. Make a good movie right now. Don't think about what's gonna happen in King Dynasty or Secret Wars or whatever other big event films you got down the road. Just make a good movie right now.
Right. That's what they really should do. You know, I listen. I'm not like a lot of people who hated Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange could have been similar to this level if you just had a good script and let Sam Raimi did his thing.
Yeah,
'Cause-
look, I like Multiverse of Madness a lot, but the thing is, it's like it could have been so much more. Like I thought it was a good movie.
What the
but
fuck
it could
was
have been
that,
better.
Curry? What the hell are you doing? I'm sorry, guys. I'm watching an NBA game and Curry
Oh.
just did stupid shots trying to
Oh
be a
boy,
hero.
Lakers are up 3.
Yeah.
But
All
no,
right. Yeah. I'm
the
sorry.
The thing is, it's like I like Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness quite a bit, but the thing is, it's like it had the potential to be what could have been a game changer. That could have been a game changing film,
Right.
and instead it was just a good movie.
It was just on a creative level. I'm so I don't want to cut you off. I'm so sick of these cameos and these Easter eggs and that's what people are watching for these Marvel movies for. It's like, who is reading the comics for Easter eggs and cameos? Like, who is doing that?
And
Nobody.
The thing is,
I don't know nobody who is doing that.
I think Sam Raimi is up there with James Gunn. The problem was the
Right.
writing in that film, because the directing, I thought the directing looked fine. The thing is, it's like, because again, this is where writing is important. Because then James Gunn write Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Yes.
So like it shows right there. Writing is very important for these movies.
Writing is always going to be important.
That's why when people hear that the writers of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium are going to be writing King Dynasty, yeah, you're going to expect people to be pissed off at that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because after that screenplay, do we really want him to write an even bigger film with that murky of a screenplay?
No.
Like, I get the concerns people have.
No. These Marvel writers, they need to get better writers. They need to pay them more. They need to, they need a lot of the credit. Okay, and they need to get. They should get writers who are going to stay with them consistently. That's the problem with Marvel, is they hire new people and then they kick them out when the movie's done. Right? Or they move on to another franchise. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
The cameos, Marcus, I get what you're saying. Like, it makes sense, but like, if we're gonna sit here and say, "Oh, Deadpool 3, like Deadpool 3 is gonna be good just because of cameos," no, I'm done with that. I think that is such a boring way of looking at movies, a sad way to get excited for movies. We should be saying, you know what, the movie should take risks. The movie should be like, crazy action scenes where your
That's what Doctor
mouth
Strange
is on
was,
the ground.
man.
Right? It should be like, clever scenes and dialogue and good jokes, like jokes that are well written and consistent, right?
Do you think Doctor Strange would have made $900 million if it wasn't for the constant talk about
it? Did make $900 million.
Yeah.
Well, like, you mean like $1 billion?
It did not make $1 billion, though.
No, it made, I think, let me see how much it made.
But do you think it would have made that much if it wasn't the constant hype about cameos?
I don't think so.
Or was it based on success that we got to see Doctor Strange in Spider-Man, so we get to see him again right away in another movie, in a movie that come out months after?
955.8 million was Doctor Strange. But no, I think a lot of these movies are going to be based on who's going to appear in the movie and all of these things like that. I think that's going to be Marvel's crutch, right? Or their next crutch, when the well is dry, is going to be the characters that people wanted to see since the beginning of the MCU, right? People wanted to see Fantastic Four and X-Men. But once you get to Fantastic Four and X-Men, you're going to need to rely on building up new characters. They're not building up new characters, right? Building up a new character would be Phase 4, you have Shang-Chi 1, and Phase 5, you have Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
The thing is, it's like a lot of people like Shang-Chi, so it's like
Yes.
they should have tried prioritizing a Shang-Chi too.
Yes, they
Thor-
should. Instead of a Thor 4 and Captain America 4 and a Thunderbolts. No.
movies were like all the Thor movies were like in the first 3 phases.
Like
Yeah.
First
it's
3.
so weird. Movies that they should be prioritizing, they aren't really prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you know what? This movie now made me also realize, like when a movie is good, who cares about comic book accuracy?
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, right? Like that's what I'm also starting to realize. Like this movie, when I walked out, I was like telling my friends, I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. This movie is a masterpiece. This is their best movie, right? This is a movie that actually, like when we sit down and we always talk, like Marvel doesn't care about the characters. They don't care about the characters. This is a movie that actually does care about the characters. And it's like,
Yeah.
maybe we should just focus on that. Like, okay, it's not completely because you guys already know, like that's what I used to say all the time, right? But like I started realizing, maybe that's not the best way of making a comic book adaptation is to be 1-to-1, right? Or to be super, super similar. Some cases, yes, I would still say Moon Knight and a bunch of characters, right? But once you get the core of the characters, or if you have a really good idea where you're like, listen, this may take some liberties with the source material, but like it's gonna connect with people, then I'm fine with that. But it's not always gonna happen, right? So, but still, I would rather them take the risk and see how it pays out, right? People do like Moon Knight. I don't like Moon Knight, but I guess people like it, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is.
Yeah. And with that, guys, we're gonna end it here. Go ahead, George. Plug yourself.
You can find I'm gonna get my thing while I'm saying. So you can find me at the George. So I did a review on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 this weekend, as well as a review on Transformers Dark of the Moon, also known as the only sequel in that franchise I kind of enjoyed. So you can catch those, and I am planning on hopefully later this week do my Legend of Zelda stream that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Change things up on the channel and probably review Transformers Age of Extinction or rant about the film, however I want to call it. But yeah, you can find me at the George. And I'm trying to get to 150 subscribers before this summer, so please subscribe if you haven't already.
Are you blinded?
I think I'm gonna be taking a hiatus for my show on Sunday.
Okay.
Just because I'm really busy, but I'm gonna obviously appear on Aaron's show and Tony the Getaway. So, but yeah, I'm getting a lot more busier, and then on top of that too, what comes out this week. So
Yeah. Zelda.
That's why I want to try to get my Zelda stream this weekend or later this week because Tears of the Kingdom's coming out.
Yeah. With me, I
lots
don't
of
know
good
what
stuff
next.
to look forward to.
Yeah, with me, I don't know if my next show is gonna be Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday this week, but yeah, I'm getting close to 30. But yeah, I've nothing currently set up yet, but something will be set up. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you guys.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace.